Hello. All right, welcome back. This is a video that I really wanted to make because it is a video that I probably would have watched in the time that I was preparing myself to get a tongue ring. And I just kind of want to give as much information as I can about what getting a tongue piercing is like and what the healing is like, just to be helpful to people who are interested in getting one or might be very afraid of what the healing's like. Because for me, I put off getting this piercing for like 2 years because I was terrified of it and the healing and everything. And I watched so many YouTube videos about like the process of getting a tongue piercing and the healing and everything, because I was just so scared. Anyway, I'm gonna share some pictures and videos that I took when I first got my tongue ring. And I'm sorry because I recorded them like portrait mode because I was posting them on Instagram and Snapchat and stuff, so I don't have any that are landscape, so they're gonna be kind of in the video. But yeah, so this is what my tongue ring looked like right after I got it, and I still had the blue on my tongue from where they marked it. And this is what it looked like a few hours later once it started to kind of swell. It started to get a little more painful at this point in time. And then this is a few days after at its full swelling, like the most painful. And I wrote down some things that I wanted to say. First of all, I wanted to make a list for you of things that you should be prepared for and things that you should pick up before getting a tongue ring. Before you go to get a tongue ring, make sure you eat. Eat as much as you want. Don't like overly stuff yourself in case you get nervous and like want to puke or something, but you know, just make sure that you are not hungry, because after you get the tongue piercing, eating for the next like at least week is going to be a task, I'm telling you now. Yeah, so some things you're going to want to pick up before getting a tongue ring is alcohol-free mouthwash, sea salt, so you can mix it with water and use it like kind of like a mouthwash, because if you use alcohol-free mouthwash too much, your tongue will get really raw. And you should only use it, you know, like maybe 2 or 3 times a day, once when you wake up, once before you go to bed, maybe in the middle of the day. And in between that, if you eat and your mouth feels like kind of gross, then use salt water. Otherwise, just rinse your mouth out with water. Second, if you don't have an ice maker, you're gonna want ice. I can tell you that you are gonna want ice because the swelling sucks. It sucks. And I know that sounds so scary, but it's only bad for about a week, and each day it gets a little easier. So the first few days, because for me, I got my tongue pierced in the afternoon, and then it was fine that night, and then when I woke up the next day, it was so swollen. And but yeah, you're gonna want ice. You are gonna want a lot of ice. I'd say ice, popsicles, anything cold that you can eat, you know, maybe ice cream. Anything cold is gonna feel so good because it will be tender for a few days right after you get it. For me, something that I got because I had trouble talking after I got my tongue ring, because it was so swollen, and talking even just for little bursts of time was very painful for me. And you know, everyone heals differently, but for me it was very painful. So I got an app on my phone and I would type out what I wanted to say, and I had like a little like robot voice that would say it for me. And I would definitely recommend getting that, because also if you use your tongue too much, it gets sore and it slows down the healing. You're gonna want to rest as much as you can, but definitely get yourself an app to so you can use it and not have to talk as much. If you work a job where you have to talk a lot, you better get it over the weekend or get it when you have a few days off. Do not turn around and get it and go straight to work, because you're gonna have a bad time. You're really gonna have a bad time. you're gonna have like a lispy talk for at least a few days after you get a tongue ring. Well, at least I did. Some people say they didn't, but I don't know. They're lucky. They're lucky. Another thing, Tylenol for the swelling and the pain. It'll help a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it'll help. Soft foods, applesauce, protein shakes are amazing because then you get, you know, your calories and your protein and all that. I was able, after 3 or 4 days, I was able to eat rice, and because you don't really have to chew rice. For me, chewing was hard because my tongue had swollen so much that if I bit down too hard, I would bite the edges and it was painful. So I was trying not to chew at all. And I didn't want to have to like move my tongue around a whole bunch. So what I would do is I would take a spoon and like shift the rice to the back of my throat and then just swallow it. I know that sounds so weird, and I'm sure it sounds scary, but it's not that bad. You start kind of getting used to it. And I honestly expected, oh, another thing, chili. Chili is good for like a soft food, because I eat chili. But yeah, it sounds bad, but I got used to it, and then it got easier like day by day. So it sounds scary when I'm describing it, but for me, I was so terrified of this stuff. And then once I was actually doing it, I was like, this isn't as bad as I've like worked myself up to believe. It did suck. I'm not gonna say it's not sucky, but like it's not as bad as you're probably like making it in your head. Now, as far as the piercing, because this was something I was really concerned about as well, is like, how much does it hurt? It hardly hurt at all. Like the piercing itself, I would say the clamp, because they like pinch your tongue with the clamp to hold it, and then they stick a needle through. The clamp holding my tongue to me was more uncomfortable than the needle, because the needle, I don't know what it is about your tongue, it's just like a really strong muscle, but like the piercing itself actually wasn't that bad. I think my earlobes hurt worse than actually getting my tongue pierced. The thing that sucks about the tongue piercing is not the piercing itself, it's the healing afterwards. Here's a video of me getting my tongue pierced. You could see how terrified I was every second. And I was like shaking really bad because I was so scared. And then, yeah, there is the needle. It was not so bad. I was shaking because I was terrified. And yeah, I was scared for my life, as you can see. But it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna take the time to show my tongue ring. Look, I've had my tongue ring for, I don't know, I've had it for a while. I got it months ago, at least 5 or 6 months. But something else I didn't know was when you get a tongue ring, you're gonna start kind of eating differently. At least I do, because if you get a little too carried away when you're eating, especially, it's like, for me, it's like tater chips and stuff like that, like just like get in the zone, you're snacking, you can bite down on it, and that does not feel good, and you can chip your tooth doing that. So when you eat, you're gonna start to kind of like have your own new way of using your tongue to eat. It's subtle, like I can tell, I know the way that I do it now, and I'm used to it, it doesn't bother me, but it is different, it is a change, because you do not want to bite down on it. A few here and there things that I do want to say is, I think after about a week and a half, I went and had my tongue ring changed out because the bar was really long. And when the bar is really long like that, after the swelling has gone down, oh my gosh, it's so easy to bite down on it. So as soon as that swelling starts going down, go to your piercing shop, wherever you got it from. Go to your piercer. Do not do it yourself. Just go to your piercer and have them change the ring to a shorter one, because you don't want to risk biting down on it and chipping a tooth. I think that about wraps it up. The first few days suck. After 3 or 4 days, you kind of start getting into a routine, and you kind of start getting used to it, and it's not so bad. And then by 2 weeks, you're good. It's like it never even happened. But I would say like about a week and a half is when I think my swelling was totally gone. There was no pain. I could eat, and I did eat solids within the week that I got my tongue pierced, but it was very difficult. And I didn't want to like make my tongue super sore by using it too much, so I didn't eat solids a lot. And when I did, I had to eat very carefully and very slowly, and then make sure none of it got stuck in my tongue ring. You can do this. I know you can do this. If this is a piercing you've been putting off because you're scared, but you know you really want it, just go and do it. It's not going to be as bad as you think it is. Just make sure you are prepared for it. As long as you're prepared, it's gonna go, you know, time goes so fast. It'll be healed before you even know it, and you'll have a lovely tongue ring. It's one of my favorite piercings, honestly. I love the darn thing. But yeah, I really hope that this was helpful for people who want this piercing. I just wanted to be as thorough as I could about what to expect when you get this piercing. You go out there and you get that tongue ring that you've been wanting. It's not as bad as you think it is, I promise. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video.